Perfect. All right. And then can you go to the next slide? So a key piece that we typically support entrepreneurs with is the grant writing blueprint. And I'm going to show you glimpses of it later. But for right now, understanding that when I was running Detail Ignites and being a for-profit company, there weren't a lot of grants that were available. And what we did is when we found one that we qualified for, we're running this youth program, and we wanted to say, hey, we can execute a youth program to teach them entrepreneurship. And we applied, and that first application was declined, and I couldn't understand why. I mean, we had every element, we were already doing the work in the community, yet still when we applied for the grant, we were declined. We then were able to bring our grant draft to a grant writer. They really flushed it out, and we reapplied and were successful. And again, there were some other elements like working with a community nonprofit and things that I feel strengthened our application. But the big piece was working with a grant writer and then them showing us really the language to use in the grant, and then being successful. Now we use that grant as we use it as the main blueprint. And then even when I started the nonprofit, it became the blueprint that I started from. And we've been more successful in getting grants. And it really all stemmed from that first successful grant that we got. And I believe that one was about $210,000 over 3 years, the most money I had ever seen. And so that really catapulted the youth program. But one thing to keep in mind, when we first did the grant, it was the entire concept of how do we help youth entrepreneurs and with our business. What actually got funded was a segment of it that was more around the teaching and supporting entrepreneurs with understanding entrepreneurship and really taking them through that journey. So it's not always your full idea that's going to get funded. A lot of times funders want to see just the core elements and what's realistic to execute, even though you know that you can execute the whole thing. Funders are very risk averse. So they want to see a concise, tight project. And so that's what the grant writing blueprint. And if you were to join Grant Hunter University, that's what it would help you with, to finish that blueprint. So now it makes writing grants a lot simpler. And you can go to the next one there. And another great tool to use is the federal government has their business benefits finder. So you're able to go to this website, and after we share the recording and the slides, that link will take you to the website. Really, you just answer questions about your business, and then you're able to now, the software spits out all the different grants and resources and wage subsidies that the federal government has. It's always a great resource to keep checking in. So every couple months, check to see if there's new grants available. But yeah, we'll share that resource with you. But now we're going to touch on some of the available grants as we, and I might need to share my screen so I can actually go to the websites, but go to the next slide first. Let's see. All right, yes. So I do want to share my screen. So if you can stop sharing, Mohammed, and then I will share mine. Make sure that I have these links. All right. So the first one that I did want to touch on is the Black Opportunity Fund. They created a grant program in partnership with CIBC, where CIBC had initially created a loan program. And actually, I'll show you the loan program that they created. So as a Black entrepreneur, you're able to work with CIBC to get up to $250,000 for your business. And then if you're not quite ready to take on the loan, or you don't have your business plan done or cash flow projections, you're able to go through a grant program with the Black Opportunity Fund and get up to $2,000 as a grant. So when you're going through the grant program, it's in partnership with the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce. They support you with improving your financial literacy, especially the finances needed that the banks and loan providers are looking for. helping you finish or fine tune your business plan, creating those financial projections and financial models, and of course, improving your credit score if that's the main barrier to you getting grants or getting loans from the banks. So they have these programs, either 7 of them, based on which one you need for your business. And then you get grants along the way as milestones as you complete different sections. And this link here, so if you don't want to go through the CIBC loan process, you can actually apply directly to the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce. And I'll put this link into the chat so that you can check it out if this one is of interest. And of course, it's going to be in the follow-up, but in the slide deck, but I'll share that with you. All right, let me see what's the next one. So the next one I did want to touch on really quickly is Summer Company. Again, we're coming out of summer, but I find a lot of times youth in our community miss this grant where you can get $3,000 to start a business in the summer. So if you're under 29, this one is specific to Ontario. So if you know somebody that's under 30, or if you even have children that are in high school or college, please let them tap into this grant because they get money to now test an entrepreneurship idea in the summer. And a lot of times that 3,000 is more than working part-time at a fast food restaurant. So they can now get the grant money, be able to operate a business, and I would say make even more than the 3,000 in a short amount of time. So I always want to make sure that we don't miss that grant. The other one that I'm a big fan of is the BBPA BAIDS program. So they created this grant program to allow businesses to not have to come out of pocket for a lot of services that they might need. And you'll see, the BAIDS, it stands for Business Advisory and Implementation Development Services. So the BAIDS program allows an entrepreneur to work with the BBPA to get expert services done for your business. So if you needed to get your business plan done, or again, do those financial projections, you're not able to do it yourself, or you don't have time, you can now work with the BAIDS program to have somebody get it done for you, and then you don't have to come out of pocket. So the invoice from the service provider goes directly to the BBPA, that's paid for, and now you're free, you got the work done, and now you can go on and run your business. It could also work for marketing strategy. You can bring on a marketing agency to actually do the execution, and other elements like filing your taxes or getting your financial statements in order. So I'll put this link for the application into the chat as well. On some of our sessions, we stop the session and people fill out this application right away, but I'll keep this show rolling. And if you have questions, please feel free. But this would be my homework to you, is take time, go through this application, sign up. Because it is popular, it does take time for them to go through all the applications. So you want to get in the queue. So if it takes a month or so to, not to get a response, but at least to get through and get the service provider and get things done, you don't want to wait and then be last in line. So definitely try and get this done tonight. It's a great program, but you have to really get in it to make sure you get it. All right, let's see what we got next. So another program that I'm a big fan of is called the Digital Main Street, and they have 2 actual grants that are open at the moment. Well, actually, they have 3 programs. So one of the programs that they have is the Shop Here program powered by Google. So what that does is allows you to get a Shopify store built for you, or I think they have 4 options of e-commerce stores. And so you work with, I would say, e-commerce expert. That person now asks you the questions, gets the information from you, builds your store for you, and then you're able to use that store to, hey, either add the e-commerce element or fine tune what you're already selling online. So definitely tap into that if you have ideas of starting an e-commerce business, or if you're already running and selling online and you want to update and improve your store. The other one is the Canada Digital Adoption Program. This one is pretty straightforward. You get $2,400, so $2,400 to support with online marketing. So you're able to apply, get 2,400 to fine tune and amplify the digital marketing that you want to do for your business. It does help with a little bit of onboarding onto e-commerce. So if you're not selling online, you can use some of this money to actually start selling online. But if you already are, it can help with your digital marketing. And so this one, again, the application is pretty straightforward. I'll put the Digital Main Street link into the chat as well. And that way you can see what I'm talking about after. The third one, the RAISE program, is one that had been running through the summer, and it stands for the Racialized and Indigenous Support for Entrepreneurs. You're actually able to get up to $10,000 as a grant to, I would say, supercharge your online marketing. So if you have ideas to really modernize your website, improve it, possibly paid ads, or really whatever it takes to start selling more, this program is one of the best ones that I've seen, because you get 10,000, you're able to work with the Parkdale Innovation Center. They take you through some workshops to really understand how that money can be used to amplify what your business is doing. And then you're able to, I'll say, increase your sales. Really being able to sell is the big driver for businesses. Yes, getting grants is nice, but being able to sell your product, understand who your target market is, and then use grants now to just amplify and supercharge that. So they help you with both. They help you fine tune the actual strategy, and they give you $10,000 to execute. Now, I know the last time I checked, the link wasn't here for their waitlist, because it was ending up, I think September is the end of the first round. And then going forward in October, they're going to be opening up the cohort again. So really stay tuned, because once it opens, again, we'll send out a notification as well. But if you're following along, at minimum, use that link, go and sign up. And that way you sign up, you're in their database, and they'll let you know when the applications open back. And so we saw a lot of successful participants get the $10,000. So you don't want to miss it. And it'll fill up quickly. So do not sleep on that one. All right, so that talked about the Digital Main Street. I believe this DMZ one is closed. Let me just check. So Digital Main Street, the Ryerson DMZ, they had this one focused on supporting Black entrepreneurs, and you were able to get $5,000 to support the growth of your business. Is it closed? Shoot, let me see. I think it might be closed though. This one did close. All right. So since this one is closed, I'll keep an eye on if it opens back. But this one was a good one because you got a lot of direction from the Ryerson DMZ. Let me see if they have the other one open. Okay, so their boot camp for October is open. So this is the one that I was looking at. So I'm gonna put this into the chat. Again, I know it closes in 2 days. I apologize. So Friday, it doesn't say what time, but this boot camp, the programming that you get from an entity like DMZ is excellent. This one is over 16 weeks. And I do see I know you get an initial grant, or do you're eligible for their 25,000 in grant funding. Okay, so going through the pre-incubator allows you to then get eligible for their traditional DMZ incubator, which you get up to 25,000 in grants. So again, if you're looking, and I know they're typically tech focused, but I don't think you have to be a tech company. Let's check the FAQ. because my company was able to go through it and we are not a tech company. Yeah, so using innovative technology. So I think this one is focused on tech startups. So keep that in mind if you're gonna apply for this one. All right. And they did, oh, this was actually the one that I had gone through, and you got 2,500 as a grant by going through this one. But this one closed as well. I think I got it mixed up with, I thought they were all closing September 30th. I need to update my links. But again, these are things that you want to keep an eye on because they open and close pretty quickly. So coming to these sessions, we'll try our best to keep you in the loop of these ones that are available. But another one that we had just seen come online, where is, so an organization called Coreless, and that used to be called SheEO. So this grant is specifically for, or they call it a scholarship for women founders, and they partnered with Shopify to allow business owners to get a full, I believe it's a full year free of Shopify, and you get connected into the Coreless ecosystem of women support. So you'll see the cohort, you're going to be with like-minded women. They do monthly workshops, and you get access to Shopify for the entire year, and you get activated into their Coreless entrepreneur community. So this is one, if you do know a woman entrepreneur that could utilize a Shopify platform, I would definitely encourage them to sign up for this because you get it for free for a year, and the Coreless network is really strong. If you don't know much about SheEO, SheEO is actually a member-focused, women-led, I'd say they lend money to founders that's raised from what they call activators. So the activators are women that are, from all walks of life, and they put in funds to now create a pool of funds that they decide on who to lend to. And then when they do lend it out, it's at 0% interest, and they get access to all of these activator women that are able to support the entrepreneur in their growth. So it's a great network to be part of. And now they've partnered with Shopify to provide this service. So you're really getting two for one. One, the Shopify is great, but two, getting access to the network, I would say, is the big win. So if you know women founders, please point them to this link that I just put in the chat for them to check it out. All right, and where is my presentation? One program that we have been tracking is the investment readiness program. So this is a grant that you're able to get up to $100,000 to support a social enterprise. So the social enterprise concept is really the sweet spot in between the spectrum of operating an entity. So you can either be a nonprofit where on that side of the spectrum, typically your revenue comes from funders or grants or fundraising, but now being able to start your own income generating activities, now that nonprofit has created a social enterprise. But on the other side of the spectrum, a for-profit entity that already is generating revenue, when they start operating and having positive impact in the community, really using their business to reduce barriers that are in the community, they're now operating as a social enterprise. And so the Social Finance Fund was created in order to invest dollars into social enterprises to amplify that impact. But what they found is that there weren't a lot of social enterprises ready to take on, I would say, hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars of investment. So they created this investment readiness program. And the investment readiness program was a $50 million pool of funds as a grant that they would support up and coming social enterprises, help them fine tune their operations, even to launch new ideas. And then they'd be ready for the social finance fund, which was there's about $800 million, well, 750 now in that pool of funds to invest into fine-tuned social enterprises. So what we need to do is now get you access to this money so you can fine-tune your business as kind of step one, and then that'll be able to unlock the bigger funding in the future. I'll put this link so that you're able to learn a bit more about the program. As I mentioned, you're able to get between $10,000 up to $100,000 as a grant for your social enterprise. If you are not sure if you're running a social enterprise, definitely connect with Empowered4X because they have the social enterprise certification. They coach entrepreneurs on how to make that shift, or at least understand that what they're already doing is considered a social enterprise. And if it's not, how to now shift your business operations to become a social enterprise, have better impact in the community, and then from there, be able to apply for this grant. And again, I would say operate your business in a more positive way for the community. But this grant, I'm not sure if it shows on the site yet, but it should be opening September. They said 28th and then it got bumped to 29th. So expect it to open this week, at minimum out the 28th, but it might be as late as September 30th at the end of the month. I wouldn't be surprised. But this week is going to be opening. And so in October, Empowered4X is going to be running a working group. So we do info sessions about the investment readiness program itself, which our next one is going to be next Wednesday at this time at 1 o'clock. But beyond that, so yes, we know of the grant, but we want to work alongside you to actually help you complete that grant. So we carve out a week every day. We're going through different sections of the grant. So definitely keep tuned, and you're already on our mailing list. We're going to send you information about the investment readiness program working group, which means you're working on the application. And the goal is by the end of that week, your application is done and ready to submit. I mean, it might be 90% done, but majority of the heavy lifting is completed because you're able to work with us and work with the team. And then you're able to apply so that we don't miss this money just because we didn't get the applications in. So if you want to know a bit more about the investment readiness program, I'm going to be sharing different not old, but the last applications that we put in that were successful. And that would be next week, Wednesday. And then it should be open within a day or so that you're able to start your application. So definitely stay tuned for that. All right. And the Toronto Enterprise Fund is also open. So they are focused on social enterprises as well, but they're geared more to employment social enterprises. So when you're having this positive impact in the community, if you then really focus down on supporting those in the community that are having trouble obtaining employment, now you'd be considered an employment social enterprise. So the Toronto Enterprise Fund, they have 2 grants that support you with employment social enterprises. The first one is called the Catalyzing Grant. What is it? Catalyzing. And you're able to get up to $10,000 to finish your feasibility study and also your business plan. And then after, they have the Sustaining Grant, which allows you to get up to $100,000 over 3 years to help with the operations of the social enterprise. And what I like that they do is they have 2 initial workshops to really help you understand what an employment social enterprise is, or as they call ESEs. So they have a 101 and then a 201. Then you would apply to go into the Employment Social Enterprise Business Idea Accelerator. And from there, you would be able to get the Catalyzing Grant. And after that, the Startup Grant. And the last time I checked, they did have an info session coming up. So yes, this info session is actually happening tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So it would be good to register for this info session. That way you get an understanding of what an employment social enterprise is. And also, the last time I looked, they had the recording for the 101. Yes. So this recording, and Mohammed, if you can grab this link out of the chat, and then when we send the follow-up email, if you can include this recording as the 101, so you can watch the recording and then sign up for the 201 that they're going to do tomorrow. And at least if you do sign up, you'd be able to watch the recording after, in case you're not available at the 1 o'clock. All right. Yes, so TEF is Ontario based. I believe GTA, Peel, and Durham specifically. So if you're outside of the GTHA, I don't think it qualifies. But if you're close, let me know what city you're in, and then I can ask them if it does qualify. But on their application, I did see it was Toronto, Peel, and Durham was their focuses. Okay, yeah, so definitely not Edmonton. So sorry about that. But that's where connecting with the Empowered4X team to get the funding summary done. The funding summary helps to find specific grants, of course, in your location and at different levels of government. And also for those that are in the US, again, the funding summary helps to find grants that are specific to your state and your city. So really connect with Empowered4X after this so that they can do that research for you. Oops. All right. So the other two that I wanted to touch on is the Ontario Trillium Foundation. Again, sorry about that, Funky. I know you're in Edmonton, but the Ontario Trillium Foundation ongoing has various grants. So really keeping an eye on different grants that they have out. I believe the Resilient Communities Fund is ending as applications December. Some of the other ones like the Youth Opportunities Fund did close. But this is where if you're a for-profit company, thinking about how to collaborate with nonprofits and charities, this was a key thing that we did with Detailing Nights is when we had first applied, we were just applying on our own. And then when we applied the second time, we had actually worked with a nonprofit to really amplify what you're doing. And we created a grassroots organization. So a for-profit company can't apply for the Trillium Foundation, but a nonprofit or charity can. So as a collaboration, you could work together and the nonprofit is the one that leads the application. And also you can create a grassroots organization to qualify for something like the Youth Opportunities Fund, where that's where you're kind of pulling out an element of what you're able to execute. And for us, it was the youth entrepreneurship training that we were doing inside of Detailing Nights, but then turn it into its own mini entity, which they call a grassroots organization. I believe you just need a minimum of 3 core founders. It can be an adult youth partnership. So I was the adult and we had 2 youth part of the application and be able to submit. So don't discount grants like these if you're a for-profit. It just takes a bit more collaboration. And then on top of that, the Ontario grant portal, something like this where it's designed only for nonprofits. Find a nonprofit in your network that you align with their mission, because then by applying together, it'll open you up to a lot more opportunities of grants that are out there. At any given time, the Ontario government has over 20 grants. And again, not everything would align with what you want to do, but if you do find one, I know before they had the Ontario Youth Action Plan, the Black Youth Action Plan. So something like that, if you're youth focused, if you're for profit, you wouldn't be able to apply. But if you're partnered with another organization that also supports youth in the community and you want to do something around entrepreneurship that your business can support, that's where they'd be the lead, and then you work together on the grant. So collaboration definitely opened us up to more money, and I know it can help with opening you up to more money and doing that groundwork of finding nonprofits and charities that align with the mission and vision that you have, creating those collaboration applications. That's what the governments are looking for. They're not looking for just sole either businesses or organizations to apply. They want to see community collaboration. So those were the grants that I wanted to touch on for today. I'll stop sharing, and then Mohammed, if you can bring up yours again. Much appreciated. And then you can go to the next slide. All right, and we touched on that one and that one as well. Excellent. Oh, did you want to cover that, or I can talk to it?
Yeah, you can discuss it.
Awesome. So like I mentioned, we exist to see you win. And a lot of times we can put information out there, we can do info sessions, and entrepreneurs are still overwhelmed with the amount of work that you have to do. And I would admit, obtaining grants is work. And again, I'm not, like I will say, an academic professional grant writer, but it took a lot of time to dig in, figure out how to apply. I worked with a grant writer to really get it right. So this is something that we can support you with as well, to say, hey, if it's too much time to do the research, if it takes too much time to do the application and the follow-up, it took a lot of follow-up for me to talk to these funders that kept declining me, figure out why, fix the application, and then get successful. These are things that EmpoweredForex can actually support you with. So tapping into either the grant writing services or the Grant Hunter University, where that's more self-paced and all the information is online and the video tutorials that teach you how to do your own grant blueprint. But again, if it's too much time, like feel free to tap into these grant writing services, because we all know there's way more important things that you could be doing. Although getting money is important, but running your business or running your organization is equally or more important. And putting a team on that grant piece can really free it up from your shoulders. Sorry, next one, Mohammed. Yes, and as I always say, we do exist to see you win, whether you're an entrepreneur or an organizational leader, an executive director. Lean on us to be a part of your team so that one, you're not doing this all by yourself, and two, you get things done a lot quicker because now you have a team focused on it. Next one. And these are some of the services that are offered. As I mentioned, the Grant Hunter U is more self-paced. The information and the teachings are there online. You can really get your grant blueprint done at your own pace, or you can work directly with EmpoweredForex to get the funding strategy done or the funding summary done for you, and also just completely take it off your plate, and we can do the whole grant application and writing and research on your behalf. So these are some of the prices. If you do want to talk more about the support that we can offer you with your grant writing, definitely I'll get Mohammed to put the connect@empoweredforex.com email in the chat, and we can talk about that further. Or it might be on the next slide. Is it on the next one? Yes, so that has the website, but in the chat, we'll put the connect@empoweredforex.com so you can ask any questions that you have. Again, really learning about how we can support you in the quest for grants. I know a lot of funds are flowing. I was able to show you some of them. We do have a funding spreadsheet that we try to keep as up to date as possible, which shows a lot more of the grants that are available. Again, keeping your eye on what's out there, because the money is flowing. We can help you position yourself in front of that flow of money, and hopefully it's not overwhelming, and we can work with you to get these applications done, because we shouldn't miss the money just because we didn't get the application in. So we're happy to work with you on that. And I'm excited to work with you and looking forward to how we can support. So that's the bulk of the presentation. I did want to open it up if there were specific questions so that we can, make sure that you get your questions answered. I'm not sure if you already put it in the chat, you can let me know, or you can just unmute and then ask your question. Okay, excellent. If there's no questions, that's awesome. I do see my colleague from ACBN. Charmaine, are you there? Thank you, Funke. And it was so good seeing you in Edmonton.
It was great to see you too, Ryan.
Yes, yes. One thing that I almost forgot. So just to let you know about upcoming.
Yes, Ryan, I'm here. Sorry.
Yeah, did you want to touch on some of the
Sure.
upcoming events?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Let me see if I can share my, okay. Great. How are you all? I was trying to quickly create a little PowerPoint, but in the interest of time, we'll just dive right into it. We have a lot of interesting upcoming events at ACBN. I'm Charmaine Jose, the operations manager at ACBN. I also wear the hat as the project coordinator. So we're just going to invite you to a series of events, and I will just share my screen quickly and just go through them before we leave. One moment, please. Oh, Mohammed, can you give me some sharing rights? Thanks. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so we'll just go right into them. Let me just move this to the bottom so that I can. Okay, great. Okay, so upcoming events, yay. Well, we have our ACBN, our Flagstone ACBN Legacy Symposium, February 2023. But prior to that, we have some pre-event workshops coming up starting October 12th to January 11th of 2023, leading into the symposium in February. So our first workshop, these workshops will speak on business insights that will help you to grow and sustain your businesses. The venue will be at Sheridan College in Mississauga. Parking facilities will be available. We'll also having refreshments. So we'll be speaking on various topic areas. So for October 12th, these workshops will be the second Wednesday of each month from October straight to January. So for October 12th, and they start at 6 p.m. to 8, we'll have our facilitator will be Andre Smith, and he'll be speaking on finance. Then in November 9th, that's on a Wednesday as well. At the same time, Chris Beth of Import Forex, she'll be speaking on customer. You can't miss these. Then December 7th, we'll be speaking on people. That's our own Nicola Harris, co-executive director, along with Ryan Knight at ACBN. And then January 11th, the process, the plan, Tim Frey. So we'll be sending you, we don't have the Eventbrite right now, Ryan.
Yeah, I have it. I'll put it into the chat.
Okay, so Ryan will put it in the chat. So you can just sign up from now. They're free, you come, and loads of information, lots of takeaways, important topic. These are the pillars to help you, give you that direction and guide to how you can upscale your businesses. It will be face-to-face, in person only, and only our symposium in February will be virtual, hybrid, virtual and in person. But the workshops for now, that for these dates, they're in person. Join us at Sheridan, you can meet with us, network, learn something new, and we'll have a good time. So separate, sorry? Okay, in addition to that, of course, we have our usual entrepreneur drop-ins, and this occurs at 5 p.m. to 6 every Thursday. You come, you let us know what's going on with you. We don't only want to let you know about our grants and the various funding opportunities, but we also want to know what are your needs, what are your specific needs. This is an opportunity for you to speak with us face to face. And this Thursday coming up, it will be special because Crispet, we're starting our new cohort where we're going to be looking at the blueprint for business plan and the sales training program. And this is starting October 20th. We'll start our orientation program then. So Crispet will go into more details on Thursday So join us at 5 p.m. That's tomorrow. And here is the link. I'll put that in the chat before we go, but I'll just move right into the last upcoming event so that in the interest of time, our 5-year anniversary celebration. Yay! Ryan went into, all the details of how it was started. Ryan can tell you he did all the long haul, brought us to where we are today, where we are smiling, we're successful, we're helping others, and we're fulfilling the vision and mission that was set 5 years ago. And we're still seeing it happening right now. We're living to see it happen, and we want to celebrate with you. We'll be having this celebration December 3rd at 1 p.m. at Shinkuzi Chalet in Brampton. And we also have the Eventbrite for you to register. So I'll be putting them in the link right now. So Ryan has put in the link for the workshops. And then now I'll be putting in for the drop-in session, entrepreneur drop-in session tomorrow. So join us so Crispet can tell you how to get into the cohort, what are the deliverables, what are the takeaways for you, and we are looking to see you there. So I'm going to put that in the chat right about now. Let me see.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah. The chat. Okay, and this is to everyone. Okay, so that's for the drop-in session that's happening tomorrow at 5. Do not miss. And then I will just put the last one for the, sorry?
I put in the one for the 5-year anniversary.
Oh, awesome. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you, Ryan. Have a great day, all.
Much appreciated. And yeah, if there's no other questions, I'll give you a couple minutes back to your life. I really appreciate you taking the time and being present. It's not lost on me, and it's much appreciated. So if anything, the application for the investment readiness program should open this week. So when that does, you'll get a follow-up email, but Mohammed will send you this recording and some of the resources in a follow-up email as well. And hey, happy hunting. Let's get these grants and keep pushing. But thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day.